Okay, hopefully you can hear me as good. Good. Okay, very good, very good. Perfect. So also welcome from my side. So I missed the first seconds, but I guess you already did a short introduction towards today's meeting. And yeah, go ahead. Okay, perfect. So let's start with the presentation. So yeah, good afternoon from my side as well. My name is Christoph. I would like to introduce today the new TradersClub24 master tool, which is an update or an upgrade towards the current package we have named Volabox, and it's a more enhanced package of which includes a lot of new tools. And today I would like to show you what's in and how you can use it for your daily trading. It's a package that is really focused on box trading and improving performance or getting more outcome out of box trading. And that's the main purpose of all these tools. I will start with a short introduction about some general principles in box trading and what are general principles for getting more out of box trading. And in the second part, I would like to go into deeper descriptions or explanation of the tooling itself, and then also maybe some outlook on how we can use it for trading and so forth. So let's start the presentation. I think I have to shift my screen towards this one. Okay. So you should see my screen, but you don't see the presentation so far. Let's give me a shot. Okay, so it's starting. So general box trading, I think you know, is that we are looking for areas in the market where we have a high probability to break out with a movement. These ranges that we usually calculate have different names. One example is blue box. Another example is the ranges around big numbers. And a third example would be Volabox. Volabox boxes have a high probability to break out. So we are using the price momentum out of this Volabox area to gain profit. But the basic principle of looking for high profit area to make this box trading in the end has a downside, which is that usually you have some areas that have a high probability to break out, and there you're trading, but we are missing out a bigger movement in the price, which you see here on the screenshot as an example. And the question is, how can we leverage or get more profit out of this idea of trading the breakout out of, for example, Vola boxes or other boxes. And there are two basic principles of what we can use to improve performance. And one principle is to let's extend the profit target. So if we come into a movement with our positioning and the movement follows a bigger movement or from the first breakout that follows a bigger movement, then we can of course use a custom take profit to extend our profit target towards the direction of the movement. This involves of course a little bit of sense for the market, whether the market is moving, whether there's a good price momentum in the direction we would like to trade. And thus, this could be quite hard to do, especially if markets are more in the range mode, so always trying to move back towards, for example, this box. So this is really an ideal example of a price movement, but in reality, often the price also moves back. So if you would like to choose for a custom take profit and to extend the profit target, then you usually need some ideas of how far a potential movement could be, or how far a price could move into a particular direction. And therefore, we have a solution today where you can find some more areas which in your price charts to see or to identify potential targets for your trading. So that's one basic idea. The other one would be, of course, why not just trying to put a lot of boxes into this movement. Also on the right side, you see a very ideal, sorry, did I miss something, Maurice? The right side, on the right side. Yeah. Okay, so the second example is, of course, also here a very ideal situation where we have a clear movement in the one direction. Then, of course, you can try to cover the whole movement with a lot of boxes. The basic issue with that is that if you have a lot of boxes into markets which you run one after the other, that it could be that you really so to say catch the price level where you have a where multiplication goes into higher trades because price is so to say gluing on a price level. It's not moving further. So again, this is very ideal. And the basic difference between the two is for the left one, you basically need to know how far or in which direction a price movement will go. On the other side, on the right side, you don't need to know this. We have this basic example here of a clear movement in one direction, but independently, if you from any direction, if you just put boxes into the market on nearly every price level, just with a pitch, of course, then it doesn't play a role whether the market's going down, going up, as far as you have put boxes at all these price levels in general. But we'll come to that. We'll come to what's the main challenge in doing that, and what could be, what can we do from a tool side to support this type of trading. So let's go into the most exciting part. So let's make an introduction of the master tools, and you maybe see it a little bit also on the screenshot already on the right side. It's all about price levels, and I've just moved to MetaTrader to give you a short overview about what price levels we are thinking of and what's the basic setup of the tooling. So what you see is a basic price chart, candlestick chart of the German index DAX. It's mainly flat colors, so only black and white and a white background. But I already loaded a template which adds a new capability to the left side, which have some new buttons. So we tried to keep the user interface footprint on the chart very small. So we use abbreviations for a lot of functionality you can enable for your charts. And we will move through all the areas and what's the function behind, and of course also to what's the meaning of the abbreviations you see here in the chart. So it all starts with timing. Market timing is quite important. Also time intervals are quite important if you move in direction of box trading, because you know that after market opening, for example, volatility is quite high, which is important for box trading, but you maybe not sometimes, or you need some orientation for what's market you are in, and therefore we have this time button here, which basically gives you an overview on your trading day for when the market starts, when the pre-market open is, when the midday season, midday time starts, and so forth, and when the market also is closing. So you get a first vertical orientation about your trading. You can configure this. So if you're, for example, seeing that for your trading, you're ending your morning session at, for example, 11 or 10 Central European time to because then volatility is already going out of the market. You can configure that, and it will adapt to your your trading intervals or trading times that you use for your trading. It's a good tool to improve your orientation into the market. And then there is a next section that is called Horizon. So it's all about horizontals. So price levels, which starts with something you may already know, which is BN for big numbers. You can simply add your big numbers here into the charts, but you can also it makes them disappear again if you don't need it. The second one stands for high-low, which basically shows you the daily high and daily low, starting from the market opening at, for example, this market 9 o'clock in the morning, Central European time. But you also see then the market high and low for the previous day. Just switch to the M5 time frame. So you see the market high and low for the previous time frame. So for example, if you're on a box trade and this box trade is moving into a particular direction, and you're asking, okay, what could be a potential resistance or support for my trade that I would like to extend maybe the take profit, then this could be a first indication for you. For example, if the price is moving inside the previous day as for today, then usually, for example, if the market is going towards the daily high from the previous day or a low from the previous day, this can act as a support or resistance, which gives you then a first indication maybe where you stop your trade or where you place your custom take profit. On top of this, there's also a button called OC for open and close. If you enable that, you see the closing price of the previous day highlighted here in red into your chart. You also see the opening price of today's session at 9, for example, 15,673. Also the pre-market open. And if you also enable gap, which is this one, you also see what has been the market gap today towards the opening towards the closing price from yesterday. So it gives you a good visual indication for your horizontal important price lines. Also, again, if you are interested in trying to extend your custom take profit for a Swiss box trade, then these levels could act as target lines. If you get, for example, in a trade or got into a trade today in the morning, somewhere in this area, I can just mark it with a color. Let's see, we have something here to draw. I have to customize that. Give me just a second. So if you run into a Swiss box trade, for example, today in the morning, somewhere over here, and trying to go short in the direction, then you see that we have again moved back towards the opening price, which is quite common. You can you see that very often in markets that they tend to go back towards opening prices over the day. You can also see that on other days. For example, here the movement back towards the opening price came into the evening, but also on other days you see that if the price moves away from the opening price, there's a tendency to move back at some point in time. And this is also true for closing gaps. This is also true for other types of price levels that are can act as a support or resistance or can act as breakout zones. And the indicator around this horizontals here is all about showing you this type of zones. I now activated 4 different type of horizontal price levels. You can also disable them one by one, but if you would like to just see the blank chart again and would like to disable them in once, you can also click on this horizon button, then they all disappear, and the same is true also for the time button here as well. So then there are some other functions that you can add. One is the pivot points that you also know already. But there's a last one, which is here named zone. And this indicator, this type of function, this indicator shows you where are the support and resistance zones within the price levels or the current price range you are in, which is also very interesting if you would like to extend your profit for box trading, that you have clear target price levels. And so for example, if you are currently trading more in the short direction in this market, you see that the next important support zone is here approximately 170 points away on the downside. And you can also, of course, go more up in the time frames, then you will see more extended support or resistance zones over the chart. So basically, this helps you to identify zones where movements can stop independent from direction. So on the top side or on the downside of the price action. So basically, this supports you in extending your target if you go for Swissbox trading. So I now also get Swissbox here into the chart. Yeah, correct. So coming back to the presentation, if you would like to extend your target profit out of a box trade and you're not really sure, okay, what could be a good target, or what freedom to move do I have in a particular direction, then this could help you to identify your freedom freedom to move. For example, now the freedom to move to the next resistance, the next support would be here 50 points. To the next bigger support would be 180 points. So that's basically what you can get out of that. On the other side, you see here a resistance zone directly above the market price. And today the market already tested them at 2 points in the pre-market and in the main session. And of course, then if you are currently long, then of course the break of this resistance zone is very interesting for you. As it breaks into an upper movement, then it enables much more potential on the long side, and it's very important if you're currently trading on the long side. Okay. So yes, you can always deactivate them at once, or just deactivate them as a group. And so I've summarized this a bit here. Basically, this is all the abbreviations we just go through, and there's some more to come on the last button, but I will come to this in a few seconds. If you go back to time intervals, there are some interesting functions that I would like to show you as well, starting from these zones. You can configure them just by putting all the information on the front end, starting from pre-market open, market opening time, and morning session, and so forth. So there's no need to configure anything for the indicator somewhere via indicators list settings or something like that. You can configure the whole indicator just from the front end, which makes it very convenient to use them. I think for the market time settings, it is not too much often the case that you need to change this. But also if you come down later on to this grid box settings, then it's also very comfortable to use them just from the front end. Another thing is that these time frames are getting more condensed within higher time frames. So in this time interval is getting more condensed in this higher time frames. So if you move up, for example, to a one candle is 1 hour chart, then you see that they get more condensed, so they don't mess up your chart, and they're also disappearing if you go too much higher time frames, because then these intraday timeframes doesn't make sense anymore. So your chart don't get messed up with all these features, and this is very important for the timeframes. For the timeframes, yeah, okay, that's all for timeframes. Okay. So for the price action, as I said, we have these big numbers. I showed you this already: high, low, open, close, and gaps. Gaps are quite interesting because they are often closed within a session or after some days also as well. This could be, if a gap is closed, is often then maybe the end of a movement, independent whether it comes from the up or from the downside. So this could be also act as a target level for price movements. Yeah, and I talked about supports and resistances. So they are drawn as red and green color. And one thing that's very important is that I would like to show to you is at this moment, you have a plus and a minus sign here on the user interface, and you can use this to get the contrast for the zones much stronger or get them even brighter if you just need them in the back. So like a watermark, that you still see them, but they're not covering your chart or anything else that you're doing. Anyway, of course, you can totally switch them off, or you can just simply switch the zones only off. But what's very important is that you can also increase or decrease the contrast of what you're seeing, so the chart doesn't get messed up with all this functionality. Yeah, it becomes clearer. So but you can also put it in the back if you don't need it in this moment, or if you just need it for information but would like to have it in the foreground all the day. Yeah. 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 Yes. So, and today we missed a bit the Vola box, for example, here on the bottom side. So the price stops just, I think, 1 point before or something like that. But just imagine we get into a Vola box on this side here on the downside, and just compare it with what we, in this moment, we already saw that the next resistance level is over here. So we can just measure it, and it's 66 points. So basically we're going for 7 to 15 points, take profit. But if you enter a Vola box trade and we are on the first trade and would like to extend the take profit, then always the question is, okay, how far can I go with my trade? And so this gives you visual information of, okay, next bigger resistance zone, and you see it just over here, how the zone is built up. Next bigger resistance zone is around 66 points away. So that's the target I can aim for, or at least try to get into a movement that is such big. And it quadruples your profit, or by a factor of 4. So that's basically the idea that we are following. And even being more aggressive on your trading, you can also state that, okay, did come into the trading here at this area, and I'm coming to the next resistance, and I'm now going to the break-even function, take the break-even function, and then let's see, maybe this resistance here is broken up to the top, and then there's more freedom to move for prices, because next bigger resistance is over there. Or you can also switch time frames, then you also see it in a much more bigger time frame. And that's basically coming from price action trading, trying to get your profits into the movements, get your profits coming from the movements into a bigger movement. And that's something you can try to establish into your trading style by using this type of zones. But more, I think, for you, what could be even more interesting is not only getting profits into or extend the take profit targets, and also looking for how to trade more boxes. within a certain time frame or within a certain personal trading interval that you have in a daily market. So what we do, and we did a masterclass over the last 3 months about this topic. What you can do is, of course, something that's called grid trading. Grid trading simply means that you're not trading just one box at a vola box level. You're more aiming for getting into all the movements that are in the market, which of course imposes a risk of this multiplication on a price level where the price is not moving. But on the other side, you can really benefit from every movement that you have in the market. And therefore, you can use grid trading, like grid as is written here, and then grid trading. So I just get the other things out here to just have a blank chart. So what we see here is that I just move towards the M5 time frame. What we see here is the opening price. Let's see whether we can put it here. That's the opening price at 9. Put it like that. Opening price at 9 in the morning. And starting from that, with a predefined box size, we see here that there are boxes all over the place that you can use for trading. So we can define a start time and define that we would like to use the opening price, for example, at 9 in the morning. And starting from that, boxes are placed all over the price axis. And we can all, I think Joe named it stacking, and we can use it all over the price interval here to place boxes, which simply means that independent from the direction of the movement, you're always in the market and can benefit from every movement. Downside, of course, is this type of if trades are multiplied without any big movement, flatlining. And but we looked into that. We looked into that for Dow Jones and for DAX, and we see big potential for especially for the market opening, as we see very directive volatility, which means that we have momentum. If we have momentum into one direction, then price continues just because of these opening effects and the start of the volatility at 9. So that's something you can use for trading, and it's really hard to define what's the statistical benefit into that. But what we do is we decrease our risk towards a lower level. For example, I do the trading with around 0.005 to 0.005 for the parameters. And then if you come to a flatlining situation, then a hedge at the 5 or 6 trade, and then releasing the hedge is always done on the next day with the vola box. So we're using two effects for the vola box, for the hedge releasing already, which is the market opening together with the vola box statistical advantage. And so we're getting the statistical advance at the end. So we're first starting to cover all the movements that we have with boxes and getting profits from these movements. And if there's flatlining and the positions are multiplied, and you have to pause your trading for this day because market is not moving anymore, then you get into this hedge release on the next day together with the vola box, and then get the statistical advantage into your trading again. So basic idea is don't put too much effort into identifying the statistical advantage at the beginning, because anyway, even if you do this type of trading, if as far as markets are moving, you're going into profits, accumulate the profits, start early with hedging at a 5 or 6 trade based on this risk settings. You see that in the 5 or 6 trade you only have minus 0.08 to 0.17% loss at this moment, which is quite easy to release on the next day in the morning session with a vola box. And so you get the statistic advantage at the end, and before you're just trying to getting as much profit from the market, from the movements. So of course this perfectly works if the market is moving well. So Dow Jones is a little bit better than the DAX index, but anyway, you can use always the market opening effect for that. And the way it's traded is usually that you have 3 charts. So that looking like that. Just demonstrated now with 2 charts, but you can also use 3-1. You open the template on both charts, which is called TC24 Power Zone DAX, for example. The grid is then activated on both charts. Just put this off here. And you see there's little numbers on the straight handles over here that you can use to put the box on the right place. I just demonstrated now, even it's not the right time now to do that, but just to demonstrate this. So this is called the box number 1. It has a little 1 here on this chart, and now we're adding another Swiss box chart on the same template. And there we are trading number 2. Same risk settings. Don't have it here already. So let's see. And you can also mention that there could be with 3 charts you can always cover the full movement of the price, because if the price movement is now down, then the box number 2 will be activated. If it's going further down, then box number 1 will be in profit. Box number 2 is activated, and box number 3 gets activated if the price is even moving more down. For example, I just make a drawing over here to demonstrate that. And for example, if the price is moving over there, first box 2, then box 3, and so forth is activated. So with 3 boxes, you can always cover the full market movement. And the only thing you do is during higher volatility to try to trade as much boxes as you can, and start early with hedging and release it next day with a vola box, because then you're getting the statistic advantage. Sorry? Yeah, you get a bit. Correct. Yeah. I don't use automatic hedging because there's sometimes a disadvantage of doing that. If I'm saying that I start at the 5th or 6th trade, that means that I will not go for the 7th one. So I have to trade. I have to stop it before the 7th one. But usually I try it between the 5th and the 6th. But if the 6th is coming, then I try to hedge outside the box with the 6 trades latest. So because then, the loss is even better again or lower again if I if I hedge outside the box in the 6 trades, for example, because every loss that is below minus 0.2 is quite easy to release on the next day. Yeah. It's always starting with standard boxes and just letting them flow, because if volatility is high, it doesn't make a difference whether you just put one box after the others. For example, if there's a directive movement into one direction, It's no difference if you just put in the 1, then 3, then 2, then 1, and 3, and so forth. The difference comes in the predictability, so to say. You cannot foresee whether this movement will come, so you're on more on the safe side. You just put one box after the other, because if market is turning again, then you're still in the market. You still have profits from the movement also in the other direction, because it's not something you predict so far, because you're more into, for example, on the long side. But what you can do is, and that's that you can observe this very often, that at some point there will be one box that's more flattening, that's where you have more multiplication, and then you have of course the potential for higher profits if you can manage to getting a custom target just some points above or below your initial target. And then also these zones could be very helpful, because if you see that in one direction there's not too much freedom to move, then I would not bet on that on a higher multiplied box. I would not like to bet on that there will be a movement that maybe doubles or that's maybe doubled as high as intended, because maybe if there's already in resistance, I would not bet on that. Yeah, so I can also use this to, if I have a box that is in a higher trade, I can also use this to say, okay, it's maybe not a good idea to bet on whether this price level will be broken within the next 1 or 2 hours, and because then you're still in your trading, you're stuck a little bit, and that's maybe not what you would like to do. So first, I would always go for simple do one box after the other. But there could be some situations where you luckily, so to say, come into a box that is, for example, outside the previous day range. So we just maybe go on the overview again. Just put in here the open or high and low from yesterday. For example, if we just come into box 3, for example, here, so which is now over the current current box that has been activated, above that, then we are just on or a little bit above the market high from yesterday. And there's a tendency, you can, I think, observe this in 70% approximately of all trading days, that they stay within or close to the previous day trading range. So which enables you to, if you come into this trade here in box 3, that if market is moving back towards, for example, the middle of your previous day range or back to the opening price somewhere here, this enables a potential of 70 points around approximately. And that's maybe something you would like to use then. So if you, because of your trading every box, come into a box that is very interesting from a price action point of view, on top or below the market range and or previous day range, previous day trading range, then you could also try to extend your take profit towards a higher level and see whether it works out. Anyway, as you are also into this direction, for example, to the downside, have again boxes, it's just from the mental point of view much easier to let the profit from the top here, or it's easier from a mental point of view to extend it, because anyway, if it's not working, it's just starting maybe with 2 boxes into this direction where you also come into profit, and then it turns back and your box here, box level 3, you get out of with only with break even, then you still participated into this movement, and it's more than a bet on whether it goes there. It's good. It gives me additional profit. If not, I'm still participating in the movement, even if it's not as long or as far as I predict just from my price action or horizontal price levels here. So that was a long answer for a short question, whether to extend the profit or not. So I think at the beginning, just leave it. Just go with the flow, go with the market, get a lot of profits, but so trade a lot of boxes. But if there's a chance for example, if trading multiplies into higher trades, or if there's a good price point where you get into a Swiss box trade, then you can also try to extend the take profit target. And yeah, this tool should help you to to show where you have potential support and resistances, whether it's a single price price point or whether it's really a zone, so a support resistance zone. And yeah, what we currently see is the DAX is not moving higher than the high from yesterday, and it's currently really trapped more or less in this resistance zone. So I think probability is quite high that there's a movement towards the medium price of today. Yeah, at the bottom side again. So we now activated box 2. Yeah, sorry, go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, so as always, if you add a pending box towards the chart, then it's always like the price first has to move in by a factor of, I think we have it here. So here is set to 10%. So meaning 1.5 points for 50 point box size. And this is because if we put it too much sensitive, that it directly should be enabled as price is moving into the box, then there would be often errors because there is just a so fast movement that you cannot place your orders. So 10% inside the box is activated. And what you see here is that, there's a take profit that is approximately on an end of the next box, because it's 15 points. And of course, if you have a little bit of slippage, then it's not exactly. If you have some, if the numbers are rounded, the lot size is rounded, of course, to the minimum lot size increment, then you maybe also have a little bit of difference. But basically, this is it fits exactly the lines. Yeah. So there are some things you can do for placing your grid. So there are different type of, just see that this is the English one. So there are different ways of positioning your grid. So the default one is that you put your grid based on an opening or closing price at a defined time. So for me, it only makes sense to start somewhere at the market opening. So you can set the market opening to be your anchor point for placing the grid. So basically, if this market opening was over here, then it starts here from counting towards the boxes, and you can use these boxes to trade. But there are others that would like to use a time interval, for example, using the pre-market range from 8 to 9, for example, to place this type of, you see it here, to place this type of grid. So it uses the pre-market range, then make a split over the, maybe you just use a split, and then the boxes are placed based on this pre-market range, which could be also interesting. In the end, it's not too much of an importance because anyway, we are trading the market opening effect of high volatility and directed volatility. So anyway, it doesn't make too much of a difference. But you can also put, if you not like to use different price levels every day, for example, if you place them based on an opening price, you can also use your custom priced levels. Like for example, you use a big number, 15,700, and then of course you every day have the same type of price levels, of course dependent on whether you're 100 points above or below, but basically you have the same price levels. You can also use a high and a low for placing a grid like that, so if you would like to do so. So there are different types of positioning a grid, and if you're maybe more advanced, some people use 4-hour candles as a for defining their grid towards the next trading session. But yeah, for me, it's enough to start with the opening price, 9 o'clock in the morning, using this as a reference point and then starting up and down to position or place the boxes. Yeah, are the settings that I just mentioned. There's also the possibility, maybe just show that, to put a gap between the boxes. So if you are interested in not trading a symmetric size and target for your boxes. I just see that I have the German one and not the English one, but you know that here there's the risk and the target. And so if you use a symmetric one, of course, your target is always away one box size. I have heard that Maurice also use, yeah, I think you also trade like, for example, double the target against the risk. Of course, the line would be away, and then maybe you use a gap between the boxes to don't trade something in between. And you can start with a 15-point gap, but maybe also, of course, increases. And then, yeah, for example, if you trade this box here, number 1, then this would be in profit if you move to the next box, number 2, 3, 1, and so forth. One rule for me is that I leave out the opening box. So I will leave this out because sometimes strange things happen around the opening price. So why should I trade there? And but maybe it's more a feeling and not, but yeah, often it's also the case that from the market start, it's a little bit too hectic around here. So anyway, it will be hard to get into a trade right at the market beginning. So that's why at least we mark it here with a shading. So you see, okay, there it started. And from there it counts towards or it counts upwards and downwards. So I just move it back. So yeah, okay, there's a different modi. I just showed them. And yes. Yeah, so this 15 points box size now, you can also add it to 20 or use whatever box size you need. Of course, the tendency to use smaller box sizes then should always come with a smaller risk because your so multiplication, also your spread to box size ratio gets worse. So it's not improving. So that's why I think 15 is good for the DAX. But yeah, for other markets, I did not test it to gold. Yeah, for example, I have no idea what's happening in gold. I have also no idea when there's a good time for gold, but it's something that you can maybe answer, Maurice, when you have good volatility in gold, maybe then can you also use that. But yeah, it's tested mainly on indices. Yeah, today already. Yeah, so we tested it mainly on the indices, DAX and Dow Jones. So for your comfort, we also have some features. Yeah, there is always a bright and a dark theme, so you can also go on the dark side, dark side of the magic, and then go also here. Yeah, so you also can use a dark one. Colors are fitted towards the color scheme that you're using here. So if you would like to use a very custom background color, you can do so, which is, I would not suggest, but yeah, we have a color mixing model and it's working towards that everything is mixed well. I think this is maybe not too much of a famous background color, but yeah, some people don't use a clear white, not using a clear black, or using any other type of colors. And as the colors are mixed, you always get a clear outlook anyway from what color you're preferring. And so this is built into the the indicator. So this is, I think, Financial Times background. This is creamy white. And yeah, as I said already, so you can change the brightness for the shadings, and so you simply change the contrast towards the white or towards the background then, which is good to put it more in the back, put it more in the foreground, just depending on yeah how you would like to use it. Um, all the settings are persistent, which means that if you close the MetaTrader, they are still there. Also, all the modi and the state D of the buttons and so forth. It's saved per chart. You don't need to change anything within the indicator or something like that. It's not needed. You can change everything here from the UI. It's saved per chart. So if you have a new chart, the default settings are applied, and you can use or whatever you change will be stored for this particular chart, and yeah, there's no need to do anything within yeah this type of settings, yeah, which is sometimes a little bit hard to find. Um, so yeah, that's basically the overview. And yeah, so basically we have the offer to upgrade towards these tools for all members that own the Volabox package for a price of 290 euro. So if you're interested to upgrade your Volabox trading package towards this type of Master 2 package, you're free to send us an email to info@TradersClub24.de. You can connect to Maurice as well. So that's basically our offer as an introduction price for this type of functionality. And yeah, that's it, Maurice. Did I miss out anything? I cannot hear you, Maurice. Yeah, so we're currently in the phase of introducing, or I'm in the phase of introducing this type of grid trading into my afternoon trading with the Dow Jones. So piece by piece, I adding this into the trading. Yeah, and yeah, for the German customers, yeah, we have in 2 weeks the main and a big schooling session about that. And yeah, so we're now fading it into our trading plans. Of course, first start to try it out on a demo account, try to get used with the tuning, and then um, uh, later on practice the type of box handling. You have 2 boxes or 3 boxes that you're using for this type of trading. So that's something that you need to practice. But yeah, that's the current phase we are in. The tools are brand new, and yeah, we're now going into a phase of introducing to all our club members all this type of toolings. Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. I will also now move to the next trading room. I think you have to start your power hour as well, correct? Okay, good. I will close the chat here. Okay, bye.
So, where are we, guys? Wait one moment. Give me a second. So, wow, how did everyone find the new tools, guys? I know a few of you still didn't get a chance to stay in a little longer here, but um, so yeah, wow. So we've just got through our release here with those tools, and now we're going to be going through. Uh-huh. One moment, guys. So back once again. Wow. So some good information there. I don't know how everyone got on with that webinar, but there will be a recording, so it will be up and ready for everyone to take a look at it. We will be um, now is the now is the test phase, I would say, of us getting out there using the tools. The more people that are using it, of course, on the demo accounts, and then we're going to try and yeah, I think between all of us using the tools and combining them with, I guess everyone has their own few quirky moments with trading and deciding what they want to do. Oh, the market opening is about to come. One moment. We haven't got a lot of time. Uh, just getting all of my charts set up. We got a minute. Okay, let me sort these hedges out. No, no, no. There's all over the place. Where are we? So let's get a hedge release on this Dow Jones. I'm expecting there to be a bit of movement, but I think we're gonna have to wait until the opening. Let's get some stuff set up here. So we've got one vola box there on the Nasdaq, and then of course down here we've got the big number there at the bottom. We can set that up in case we go down for the bottom side. What has been going on in gold today? It has sunk. I thought that 1760 was the big support zone there, but wow, wow, wow. What a drop. Kind of sad I wasn't involved in the drop, but there's the opening, guys, anyway. Straight into the first trade on the Nasdaq. And we have one here also. Where's the Dow Jones? So we're coming up. That's what we want to be looking for our next release here. So we're pretty safe there. We're only in the fifth trade. It's not a big deal. However, those power tools is what's going to be. We're already out of that Nasdaq trade. So first trade closed already. Much better than this morning. Took us about an hour and a half to close our first trade. However, as I was saying, yeah, definitely going to be trying to use that the zones on those power tools. Where are we? We've got another gold. Uh-huh. If I know how to use it correctly. Okay. So yeah, I mean, gold dropped so much today that there's no we don't even have any more support zones to hold. But for the for the short term anyway, it was showing us all of the right zones here. We can see those pretty clearly. This has just surpassed even what I thought was possible. We could even be going all the way back down to that 1700 there on gold, guys. So just keep an eye out. Where are we with the Dow Jones? Here we are. And that's going to be my release, exit, and passen. Okay. And we're going to go up for the next. If we go up to the top, I want to get an extension down towards the next big number or the one on top. Or better yet, are we able to? There we are. Let's see what's going to happen here in the Dow Jones. What do I want to do? I want to get this Dow Jones thing up. Let's try it out. Let's try it out. I want to have a look. Power zone Dow, off zones. So where is this? What number is that? 3496. Okay, so now we'll come back over to the Dow. 34096. Okay, so that would have been just down here anyway. Now, because this is, I don't know what's been going on with my settings here in the Dow Jones, but something happened the other day when we reloaded the tools back in. Well, quickly into the 8th trade there. That we wasn't sure exactly how it was going to work with how many trades. I think there's 10 trades available, so let's hope that we can get in there. And we'll turn that entry off. So we're just on the long side here now. So we can get a manual hedge on this trade should we need to. Waiting for the market to now push its way up. So there we go. Just take a look over here. Where is it? So where's the next? So we've got one here. Resistance zone. Yeah, it's pretty much at the big number there anyway, which is, oh, wrong one. Let's see. We can close this now. And you know what? Now we can actually use this extra thing that's inside and a break-even point once we get a touch over the top. And we can put this at 0.5%. And once we get that push over, I will turn that on, and then we can go up towards this next goal. And no matter what happens, if it drops back down, it's just going to take the 0.5% profit for us. So should it continue? Retracement here. No, I want to turn that off. Where is it? Make sure we don't trigger that trade. So gold is just crazy. Bit of a shame we didn't manage to get in on that movement. Markets are extremely volatile at the moment. Very difficult to make a good decision in which direction the market will drop or go. Maybe we'll have to hedge that now. I hate these one-on-one settings because we're pretty much at the last trade now and it's such a big drawdown. Yeah, hedge that quick. Okay, so that will have to stay like that for the moment. And we can look for a way out of that shortly. So how big is that hedge? We've got what, 9? We can divide that by divided by 6. That means we need to make 6 trades to get out of that. So what we want is 300 in here. Now we got 5 trades in. Ugh. Box number 9. Okay. We'll come back to that one. Yeah, we're a bit rushed today. Not taking out our time with the trades. Over here, it seems like we're coming back up anyway on that trade. So on the higher time frame, it's a clear push back up. Let's see if we can reduce that hedge now with the new functions. Come back down. Very messy at the moment, guys. Sorry about that. Just gonna have to clean up this chart. There we go. Now, where are we? Oh, so we're coming down. So on the other chart there, when we loaded it in and put the power tools inside, power zone Dow, off zone. So I'm saying that we've got the next support zone is quite far away. So once we reach this zone, then we've gone down from 6 and we've got 1/6 of our hedge closed. So we'll break it down into pieces and trade it one at a time. And then at the end, we can then just close that hedge position. So here it comes. And almost there. Almost. No, okay, that one's done. Then what we can do, we'll wait for it to either come up back up to the vola, or we can take that big number here. Seems as though it will be the big number will be the next zone that we want. So there was another one closed there on the Nasdaq, and we have the other Nasdaq waiting for us there at the bottom. Remember, we still have that hedge over here in the FTSE also. So let's see if we'll make it down to this big number first. Oh wait, need to reset the settings again every time. And then we want here 100. There you go. And let's see. Where am I? And then taking another look back at this stuff over here. So we've got the pivot points inside. Okay, we know that. We need the open and closing. You see the markets are coming back to the open and close. Very tight gap there compared to the rest of them. And back to the gap from this morning too. So we can set this one up, see if we get an entry before the retracement. Not sure it's going to give it to us. And I think we're going to get that entry now. And there it is. Entrance. and a breakdown. So now going off what we saw on here, it's at 34.5, would have been the next support zone, which is all the way down here. I will be surprised if we reach this zone now. I'll tell you what, we'll put it down to here. We'll see how far the market goes. Remember, we've got this break-even point as well, and we can turn that to, I don't know, 1%. So once we break past this daily pivot, we get through the vola box, and we come down towards the big number. If, then what we'll do, we'll just put in here the break-even will be 1%. And then we'll follow the moving. Take a quick look at the DAX here, see what's up to as well. Drop here, the whole market really. Sorry guys. Yep, so what is going on here? Yes, Ronald. So I mean it's volatile, there's movement in the market. There's definitely some underlying direction coming through. Whether or not it's going to be a continuation and a nice straightforward path will be a different story. But yes, pending between dare and fear. But here we come. So we're above the 1%. I want to get below this daily pivot before I activate my break-even percentage, just because I don't want it to trigger right now. I want to break past. If we continue this and get a clean break, like now, a nice clean breakthrough, and a jump down towards the big number there would be what we're looking for. And then from that moment, we can even activate the vola box or the next big number. If we want to close it, it's not such a big deal. I have to give it some time to give the retest. Silver also down. Wow. Probably could have released this. I try my best, Ulrika. I try my best. Having difficulties to position not correctly a new box. Just take the usual trades, big numbers, vola boxes for the moment. I want to really test the rest of these tools out with a clean slate. Hopefully tomorrow we can get rid of this footsie hedge. So now coming for a retest of that daily pivot. So also guys, for yesterday we had that MTX trade on the 15-minute chart in gold. It came into profit over the night time, first thing in the morning, jumped into profit. Yeah, it could have been way better than expected, but I don't think anyone has foreseen what would have happened today in gold. Or maybe foreseen, but would have not have known that it would have dropped so far so quick. But that is the gold market. I think every trader's dream to catch a nice good sell in the moment that the market does a drop like that. Okay, so let's turn on. Keep forgetting to do it. We'll turn on the 1%. If it hits the 1%, then it hits it. If it drops down, then we'll continue with it. Maybe we'll take that vola box instead. Let's close it and take that vola box. 3876. Ah, and then we want over here. We want that. And we've got this one prepared now. So that's 2 out of 6. 2 out of 6 there. So we want to get this as big as that ultimately. And then what we can do is we can close that hedge in the Dow over here. Shame that we took off. Ultimately, in terms of the zone over here, this is where we should be aiming for. I have a feeling that we're going to trigger that. No, don't want to trigger that. Feeling it will retest that daily pivot before it drops, and I don't want to trigger that trade. So lesson learned from today, always check your boxes before trading them. Otherwise, I mean, I hate these settings. Retest on the daily pivot before. Panicking. Hmm. Mm. Close that one. We messed up on that. So I think the best thing to do is to relax and come and revisit this at the end. We've had our movement. There's still some movement there in the market, of course, but it's too late in the day to try and risk that. Yeah, we'll revisit this probably tomorrow. Because yeah, this was a terrible idea with this folder box anyway. Just because of that one reason, between the big number and the daily pivot, I knew it was not the way to go. However, it is how it is. So that is going to be it from us today, I reckon. And then we'll revisit this again tomorrow. Yeah, so far we've increased our hedge since yesterday. Hedge positions. Now we got three trades open. I'm just going to close this one now. And we still got one pending somewhere. We'll delete that one too. So that is it so far. We still smashed the day, 8 trades closed. We got an extra hedge landed on top, and we've probably increased around about 1,600 towards our hedges until tomorrow. So what we're going to do is we are going to finish the day with this, and then we're going to revisit this tomorrow instead. Yeah. But hey, 8 trades closed, 2.95%, smashing day, nearly 3% on that. Shame about that Dow Jones. In theory, we can even, it's not that bad if we go down to the, no, if we go down to the history here, so custom period. Let's go towards the last week. I mean, the last week, technically, we've been doing very, very well. we could, in theory, just close this and call this week and just call it a week. Basically, we can make a couple more trades tomorrow, and then we can end our week on a small profit, if not. So we'll wait and see how tomorrow goes. If there's some good trades and we end up making some good profit around about 130 euros, 230 euros, sorry, then we can go ahead and probably just close all of those hedge positions. So yes, guys, that's going to be it from us today. Thank you for joining. I hope you all enjoyed the presentation there from Christoph. Remember, if you're interested in those tools that he, where was it? Yes, in the tools here. Please send an email to info@tradersclub24.de or message myself, and you'll get we will help you set up the power tools and master tools. We're going to be doing a lot of practice with those over the coming weeks, especially in the morning rooms and the power hour. So guys, please have a wonderful afternoon, and I will see you all tomorrow.